This thing on? Because it's getting ready to be on.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Bell Ringer. My name is Greg. Your guest name today is Chris Swazzi, also known as Coach Swaz throughout this episode. On today's podcast, we talk about the Economic Development Delivery System, how Genesee County Economic Development Center and Invest Buffalo Niagara work together, collaborate on projects. Chris talks about workforce development, real estate development, site selection, and everything in between. The bills too. So, hope you guys enjoy this episode, and thanks so much for listening. Rate us on iTunes. Bye, guys. So, for those that don't know, what is GCEDC?
Well, it stands for Genesee County Economic Development Center. So we're an industrial development agency similar to ECIDA.
Right. And what's the difference between, our organization and yours? How do we collaborate, crossover, and how are we different for those that might not know the economic development kind of ecosystem?
Right. So the ecosystem, as a lot of folks know, Invest Buffalo Niagara is a regional economic development organization. Genesee County Economic Development Center, GCEDC, is a partner in and invests in Genesee County as well as invests in Invest Buffalo Niagara. So we collaborate a lot in terms of our activity for attraction projects. We go to conferences a lot of times together, or you'll represent us at a conference. So we have a great relationship, and one that's been going on for me for over 12 years, so it's been great.
Right. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing in workforce development, since I know that's such a kind of a hot topic on everyone's mind.
Yeah, thanks for that. We really do a lot with workforce development. It's consuming over 50% of my time the last couple years right now, which is I'm excited because
the other 50% is talking about the Bills.
Is all Bills, baby. It's all
50-50.
about Josh Allen and the Bills defense right now. But we have a lot in workforce development. We do a stint called Coach Swaz. I kind of go out as a career coach when I talk to high school kids. And I have another gentleman, we call him Dr. J. And then we have another guy this year, special guest called Jimmy Neutron. And we kind of make it fun when we go talk to kids in middle school and high school because, we don't want to be seen as an old economic development person, and we want to be something that they can relate to. So I'll bring my coach's uniform on, I'll bring a whistle, and then get kids at ease and talk about careers that are in their backyard that most of them just do not know. And it's amazing to me. You have legacy companies that have been around for years, and you go talk about it to this generation, and they're like, I never heard of it. And so it's very important for kids to understand that we have high-tech jobs right here in Genesee County, right here in Western New York. So really excited about that. And we're concentrating on three kind of different events this year. The first one was Edge Factor, which is actually a platform. It's a series of YouTube videos, all modern, high-energy, rock and roll playing, and helps kids explore careers. And it's about a 2-minute video, so yeah. It's YouTube related. They love going into those YouTube videos and seeing career paths, and we tie that all together with careers in their backyard as well. The second thing is a huge event that we got coming up September 24th in Batavia. It's called Glow with Your Hands, and it's about Genesee, Livingston, and Orleans in Wyoming County, the Glow region as we call it, and it's for kids 8th grade to 12th grade. And we have 1,000 students planned this year in 28 different schools in the Glow region. Wow. And they actually are going to work with their hands for the day. There's going to be about 40 different stations, combination of the trades, advanced manufacturing companies in the Glow region, and really trying to get kids to work with their hands for the day. And whether it's plumbing, welding, carpentry skills, or advanced manufacturing, getting on backhoes and some equipment, and really letting them really taste firsthand careers that they can work with their hands on and really expose them to that. So we're really excited about that. We're getting some great press. We had Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul came in a couple weeks ago to help kick us off. the event, and we're really seeing some great reviews already, and we haven't even had it yet, so we're really excited about that. And then the last thing is pre-apprenticeship. So we're doing pre-apprenticeship programs in 11th and 12th grade. 11th grade, you're job shadowing, and in 12th grade, you're actually working with the company like an intern. We're doing that at our BOCES program, or Genesee Valley Educational Partnership, so career and tech high school education. And then we're also doing a boot camp in the summer of 2020, aimed at kids 18 to 24-year-olds, and it's a 6-week boot camp. We're looking at a couple different tracks: computer numerical control and mechatronics, welding, and general machining. And it's an opportunity where kids can go. They didn't really know what they were doing coming out of high school. They're kind of just trying to figure it out, and it allows them to come into this type of apprenticeship boot camp where they can get a good taste of these jobs that are great career paths in their backyard with no student debt. And it's a great opportunity, and you can see that you'll have on-the-job training. Once you get out of the boot camp portion, you actually work with a company, and you have a 4-year track of every 6 months getting a pay increase, and ultimately after 4 years, after your full apprenticeship, you'll be, at a $25 to $30 per hour price range with no student debt. So really excited about that. So you asked, and I told you a lot on workforce. So.
Well,
we got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's on the top of everybody's mind, and especially in like manufacturing and STEM and the trades.
Yep.
Kids are a lot of times recently pushed in the opposite direction, so
correct,
to get them that information at a young age so that they're familiar with it, and also in a fun way, with your coach's whistle and everything. I think it's actually important. And
it is, and I utilized my really youth coaching background to put that together, because a lot of times we would have really good successful basketball varsity level in high school teams, and they said, how did you become so good? Well, it's because we started in 4th grade,
right?
And that's really why we became good. And the same thing is true for careers. We start these kids in 4th grade. We have actually an innovators club at 4th grade, and it's all about STEM and applied learning, and the kids love it. And that's really where we start getting the hooks into them. And then we have a series of platforms that lead the way all the way up into their senior year. So it really ties in the STEM and skilled trades career pathway for them.
How do you reckon with or have an appetite for something that probably takes so long to come to fruition and see the success of your labor? If kids in 4th grade, it takes a while until you get to manufacturing.
It's patience. I'm a parent, right? I've had my kids have gone through the system, and the last one's just graduated college, so it's patience, and you got to see it because it's a long-term play, right? A lot of times everybody wants things fast, and even our manufacturers locally, they want to hire people quick. And I keep talking to them about it's a long-term play. Workforce development is a process. It's not a one-time event.
Yeah, that's a good segue too. I want to talk about real estate development, which is something you guys do and not something we do in the economic development space. That also takes a lot of patience, and it's kind of a winding road. Yeah. Take us through from conception of a project to groundbreaking to ribbon cutting. For those that don't know about it, just what's that process like?
Right. It actually, getting back to call it the grassroots, and it's physically the grassroots. When we take a site, and a lot of times in Genesee County, it's a farm field, right? So, and I'll give you an example, the Ag Park. And the Ag Park, probably about 15 years ago, it started the process where we took an old pumpkin farm that happened to sit right next to some big infrastructure, and we converted that farm ultimately into an industrial park. So it takes several years to put the pieces together because we don't have a pot of money waiting for us to say, here, go do it. We had, in the case of the Ag Park, we had over 15 different financial transactions put together to lead us into infrastructure development costs. And by that I mean we had to start putting in the water lines, the gas line, the sewer lines, and tie in the electric and utilize our partners. Of course, we don't do it all ourselves. Economic development's a team sport. As you know, you're part of our team. But on the infrastructure side, we have National Grid. We got folks like National Fuel Gas, and they come together and we put this together. And ultimately, when we see opportunities like the Ag Park, you want to put the infrastructure capacity and tie it into that industry that you're chasing. And in the case of the Ag Park, it was all about food processing. So we had to have not just a little bit of infrastructure, we had to have a lot of infrastructure. So by that meaning I need 1 million gallons of water or sewer a day. I needed 10 to 15 megawatts of power available from National Grid. So once we were able to develop that, now we start marketing that. And we marketed pretty strong on the food processing side, and we happened to land 2 big projects right out of the gate. And when I say big projects, one was a $25 million investment, and the other one was a $200 million investment. So pretty cool that we have both ends of the spectrum when it comes to food processing. So whether you're small, medium, or large, we can handle it all. And we've seen those investments, and they've grown to date. And now all of a sudden, you went from pumpkin farm, and now into we have ultimately 250 jobs out there, and over $200 million, $250 million of investment. So that's one of the parks. And now I have 7, and we have a big monster project that we're working on called STAMP, which stands for Science and Technology Advanced Manufacturing Park. And this happens to be 5 times the size as our Ag Park. It's 1,250 acres. You're familiar with your Tesla plant here in Buffalo, which is about 1 million square feet under roof. Well, we can handle 3 Tesla plants at the STAMP site, and that's aimed at, again, big infrastructure. We have over 485 megawatts of power available and over 11 million gallons of water and sewer a day. So a big campus, sits right close to the Buffalo Airport, about 25 minutes away, and we're super excited about that project and that development.
Yeah, well, people see a big plot of land on the side of a road and they think build something there. I don't think people understand the long process to get it to even be ready to. Right.
So when you looked at the Ag Park, it took 15 years to start the infrastructure process, and then we've been into it for probably about 5 years as far as getting folks ready. So yeah, you can have 10 years of, call it, idle by the view. When people drive by it, they don't see anything going on because we're doing all the infrastructure. Right. We're putting things in the ground. We're doing civil engineering and getting all the plans laid out. And then all of a sudden, within 5 years, then all of a sudden you'll see something at Stamp. You're like, oh my God, that happened overnight.
Right.
And we know it didn't happen overnight.
Right. You guys do, the Ag Park, dairy, food processing is big in Genesee County. The other side of that coin is some Main Street type development that you guys work on. Batavia is experiencing a little bit of a comeback, and you and I toured it like a year ago or year and a half ago now. Yeah. Took me around to some cool spots, and we were just talking about Eli Fish on the way up. Yeah. How do you balance the two of those to be able to do, a brewery on Main Street and this huge ag park at the same time?
Yeah, well, you start to see the infill, as we call it. Our 7 shovel-ready parks they're on the outside of the city of Batavia. And by having that development work, like I talked about, the 2 big projects at the Ag Park, now you started seeing infill into the city. So economic development, very similar to the Buffalo Billion that happened out here, and you start seeding the city, and then things happen. You start seeding the city, then Canal Side happens, and Harbor Center. So in Batavia is no different, just on a smaller scale, right? So we started seeding, and then we seen Eli Fish, a microbrewery, come to town. And not only did they invest in a microbrewery, but then they renovated the 2nd and 3rd floors of Main Street and into 1 and 2 bedroom luxury apartments, and they're all rented out. So we're really in a predicament where we're really following Buffalo's lead in terms of what's happened here and what's happening with the millennials coming back, because folks want to live, work, and play, right where they live. And ultimately, Batavia is the same type of thing on a smaller scale, of course.
Right.
And then we were able to win a $10 million DRI, Downtown Revitalization Initiative. So we were really excited about that. And same thing as I talked about the Ag Park, all of a sudden 5 years you're going to see downtown Batavia. You're going to go, wow, what's going on?
Right.
What happened? And that's all part of this whole big master plan here.
Yeah, and that was part of the tour you took me on, was a lot of the sites that'll be impacted. And, I got to see the before.
Right.
A lot of these places are changed. It'll be exciting to see the after in a couple of years.
Yeah, and those were strategic sites. So we're not just going and, saying, here's a blank canvas. We're doing it, strategically. We had 4 sites that we really targeted, and once you get those going, then everything organically happens. So we're really excited about downtown Batavia.
Right. So you're the site selector contact for GCDC, and I know, you work a lot with Matt, or you mentioned going on trade shows together.
Yep.
How important is that relationship with site selectors, especially when you're dealing with, mega projects that could go to the Ag Park and invest $200 million, or things like that?
It's the whole site selection process is very interesting. 50% of the deals come from specific site selectors. They're consultants in the group, so we have to have those relationships out there. So when Matt or Alan or Carolyn or Lori, the whole team, we're always out at different conferences, and building those relationships are key, so they understand what's going on in Western New York. When they come in and they see your face and they remember, oh, there's Chris Suozzi, Stamp, there's Niagara Falls, low-cost hydropower.
Right.
I got a project that needs, low-cost hydro. We're coming here. We're going to call you first. And that makes a difference, because it's all about relationships, when it comes down to it. I know we have a lot of great technology out there, but there's nothing like that face-to-face relationship. They can trust you. They've seen you for a decade,
right.
That you're real. You're not just a has-been, or you're fly by it. You fly in, you fly out. And those, are real special, because it takes many years to build those relationships.
Yeah, they just got to look for the guy with the whistle around his
Coach Swaz. And it's funny, because I see the guys now, and they'll be the first thing comes out of their mouth. Hey, Coach Swaz. It's pretty hysterical. And hey, if that's what they need to know me by, I'm fine with that. Right? Bring the deal.
I get the emails with the Coach Swaz headline and the photo. Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
it's cool stuff.
So last question before our Blizzard round.
Yeah.
Generally, what makes you optimistic about the future of Western New York?
I'm so excited where we're at. The future of Western New York is very bright. We've been a hidden gem out here for years, and we have an incredible ecosystem, both on the workforce side and as well as on the economic development side. It's kind of like a summary of everything we talked about, right? So you have an incredible school system. Besides what I mentioned, what we're trying to do in K through 12, we certainly have 57 colleges, universities just in the Western New York half. Over 4,000 engineering students graduate annually. Over 4,000 IT professionals graduate annually. So you got 8,000 incredible graduates, and that's what everybody is looking for, is workforce. And we have a mature system here that we've been training everybody for the world, for years. And now we have the opportunity for places like Stamp to keep them here. And that's the ultimate goal, is to keep things strong here in Western New York, have those infrastructure, industrial parks ready, so when we have the next Teslas, come to town, they have a place to come and they want to be here. And you combine that with low-cost hydropower. I mean, it's pretty powerful. So the future is very bright here in Western New York.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, all the work you do.
Oh, thank you.
Being a great partner. Before I let you go, we have Blizzard Round.
All right.
A couple fast, hard-hitting journalistic questions. I heard that you cheated a little bit and prepared, but we'll allow it.
We don't cheat. We just prepare. That's the key, right?
Different word for it, yeah. If you were a flavor of ice cream, what would you be?
Oh, Perry's ice cream, man. I love all kinds of Perry's, especially the Blizzard pack ice cream.
Local too, yeah.
Yes.
Book or TV show that you'd recommend?
I'm all day long about ESPN, so I'm a sports junkie, so I don't watch anything else but ESPN.
Yeah. What's your Bills prediction this year?
Oh man, record's we're gonna be 10-6. We're gonna sneak into the playoffs this year, and watch out.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Text or phone call?
Definitely a phone call. It's all like I talk about the relationship side of the game, and listen to people's voice is something we all have to do more of. So
right. Bills or Sabres?
Bills Mafia, man. I'm a Mafia guy all day long.
Hiking or skiing?
Well, that's where a little bit I have to throw you a curveball there. It's basketball for me. So I play basketball.
Cool.
6:30 I played this morning at the Y in Batavia. I play 3 days a week. And,
early
morning, and I have a lot of young guys play, so they're my fountain of youth. So that's how I stay young.
Nice. And last question, chicken wings, drumstick or flat?
My son loves the flats, so when we order, I'm always eating the drumsticks, so we have a balanced attack at those
right.
bad boys. We love our chicken wings.
Yeah, I'm a drumstick guy too.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Greg.
Bell Ringer is a podcast by Invest Buffalo Niagara, the region's privately funded, nonprofit marketing and economic development organization. Please rate this podcast, follow our social media channels, and read our blog at buffaloniagara.org for the best of Buffalo Niagara. Come grow your business with us.